first, we're going to just go through my journey, kind of go through how I got to this point. So we're going to go back in time a bit and just share a bit about myself and my dropshipping journey. So let's take it back to 2017. I was in my junior year of high school, and for people outside of the United States, that would be your second to last year before you graduate and go to college. But basically, that day I had skipped school to play Grand Theft Auto 5, and while playing the game, I was looking up ways on YouTube of how to make money in that game. I wanted to obviously have all the flashy cars in the game, the fastest car, all of the equipment and the houses and whatnot and the properties. So I was looking up ways to make money in the game. So what was funny was YouTube's algorithm kind of took over and put a drop shipping ad before the GTA video that I had clicked on. And because I'm assuming the algorithm saw that I was interested in the finance niche, not realizing that it was looking up how to make money in the video game and, not real life. So I guess this is the one time that I can thank the algorithm for changing my life or whatever. So anyway, so the moment the ad started playing, I was hooked. I've always had a very money making, entrepreneurial spirit. So that just the ad that I saw just automatically hooked me. And it was actually one of Alex Becker's ads. And if you don't know who that is, he's been in the space for a while at this point. So he's a pretty big name in the industry as a whole. But I ended up watching the entire ad where he basically summed up what the drop shipping business model was and how, more importantly, how profitable it could be. So literally after the ad started playing or stopped playing, I clicked, something just clicked in my head. And my entire mind shifted because I immediately shut off the game and I didn't even finish the online deathmatch that I was in, but everything in life just clicked and everything seemed to just fall into place. I was thinking, why am I working so hard to make virtual money in a video game just so I can buy a cool car or whatever in the game, when I could be spending that same amount of time and learn how to make money in real life and buy the cool car in real life, rather than having all these achievements on the game and nothing in real life. So literally that same day I hopped on Shopify and just started playing around. I didn't, nothing crazy happened. I just was testing things out, getting used to the platform and kind of how everything worked. Over the next few weeks and months, I really started to learn what dropshipping was. And at that point, I had launched a few Instagram influencer ads. And if you've been in this space as long as I have, you'll remember back in 2017 and 18, influencer ads were the way to go. Now in 2024, which is when I'm filming this video, influencer ads are not the strategy to use. At this point, they are oversaturated, and generally people nowadays are a lot more aware of what an influencer ad is. And they're just generally less effective than back in 2017 and 18. But I advertised these knives to a cooking influencer page, and I had to go live at midnight, 12 a.m. at midnight, and all night I literally could not sleep. Eventually I did doze off, and I would randomly wake up at random times in the night to check for sales. And to my shock at that point, my Shopify dashboard was completely empty, and I had no Shopify notifications. So it was such a shock to me, because I'm like, why is it not working? I thought from all the YouTube content I had consumed and from what all the research that I had done, why are the influencer ads not working? And this kind of ended up being the trend for me from 2017 all the way until 2021. I tested at that point so many different strategies and different products, and I fell into the trap that I feel a lot of people fall into, where it's you think that you can find the success and see your dream results just from consuming YouTube content, because I thought the same way. I thought just like that, and I'm like, if all of these guys that I'm watching on YouTube could find these results, why can't I, or why couldn't I? And it took me a while to realize, but all of the people on YouTube invested in mentors at some point, which got them to seeing their results. And then, they branched off and created their own strategies and kind of went from there. But the main kind of moral is, on YouTube, some of the guys will admit it, some of them won't. At this point in my kind of journey, I know a lot of these people on YouTube personally, and I know how they got started. And almost all of them, 90% of the gurus on YouTube, including myself, all had a mentor to get started. And that's how they, saw their first results and then branched out from there with their own strategies and their own, thing. So, throughout the roughly 5-year time span from 2017 to 2021, I ended up, graduating high school. I started working various sales job. I started selling shoes at Champ Sports, and I actually started mid-senior year in high school. And Champs, if you're not familiar, is the same as like a Foot Locker or a JD Sports. It's just a shoe store. But I was working in sales there. After that, I sold phones over at AT&T. And then prior to seeing my first success in dropshipping, the last job that I ended up working was for a dealership in car sales. Now, I'm a super big car guy, so it just kind of seemed like the natural evolution. I sold shoes, sold phones, and then moved up to cars. So fast forwarding a bit, at the beginning of 2022, I stumbled across a guy's YouTube channel, and I really connected with his content, but more importantly, I connected with his YouTube case studies, kind of like how we talked about at the beginning of the video with my own case studies. But I ended up joining his program whilst working my car sales job, and I started seeing insane results almost instantly, just by having a strategy that I could follow, and a mentor to ask all of my questions to. Now, fast forwarding 6 months down the line, I ended up quitting my 9-to-5 to pursue dropshipping full time. And since then, I've started, scaled, and branded several multi-six-figure stores. But that was kind of my entry into the space. I don't really consider from 2017 to 2021 my true, entrance into the space, because I was testing a whole bunch of bullshit and hoping that it would stick, right? 2022 was when I was following one strategy, and that, coincidentally was when I, found success. But over the past 2 years, from 2022 to now, I've developed and tested kind of my own strategies and learnings, and crafted my own dropshipping blueprint, which is completely a streamlined strategy that takes all of my learnings and compiles that into an easy to learn, proven to work system, which, as you saw above, led to all of the student successes and my own personal success. But a really big goal of mine was, purchasing one of my dream cars at the age of 21. It was a 2022 Audi S5 Prestige Coupe. And I don't say that to brag and I boast, and I really, hope it doesn't come off as that. But this is the type of thing that kept me motivated throughout my journey, prior to seeing results. And it was seeing other people's successes and being a car guy, obviously seeing, the car, type of cars that they drove. So this is the car right down here, gray. I got the blackout pack, literally every box checked, red seats. I'm really, proud of this accomplishment. And then this was the car coming from Germany, on the delivery truck. So I live in the Midwest, in the United States. So if you know anything about that, the weather gets pretty bad in the wintertime. So it showed up in January. And yeah, it was snowing, and I had to instantly get winter tires when the car got here. So that was $1,500 that instantly I had to pay before I could even drive the car. But the car's been great. I love it. I still own it to this day. But anyway, I say all of that to say that, I hope you were able to kind of connect to my journey and see that I didn't just see success overnight. There was a ton of sleepless nights, trial and error, before I was able to see the results that I've seen now, and that I've achieved. And that's why I value mentors, because when you find the right one, everything will change for you, and it almost feels like it's changing overnight. And you save a ton of time, rather than having to go through all of the trial and error yourself. Instead, you can just hit the ground running with a strategy that works and crush it.